Hello, everyone. Can you believe it is already February 27th? Like the month is already over. It's time to get into March. First quarter is almost over. It's tax season. And today I have a CPA with me, Nicole Michelle. She is a CPA. She's also a financial advisor. She's an author and she's a child of God. We had an opportunity this weekend to attend Icon Women. You see, I'm repping Icon today. Women, Wealth, and Wisdom 5th Annual Empowerment Luncheon. And it was such a great time just to get together,
Absolutely,
to be inspired, to be empowered, to be elevated and motivated.
Yes.
And it just be fitting for you to come today and so we could talk a little bit more about wealth.
Yes,
and wisdom.
Absolutely.
And so you have a new book coming out.
I do. I'm so excited. It'll be out actually on April 12th. I'm doing a book signing in Sugar Land.
Okay. And where's that location?
It's going to be at the Roof.
At the Roof. Okay,
Yes,
cool
in Sugar
spot.
Land,
Yes.
Highway 6 and 59.
Yes. So what is the title of the book?
Commonwealth looks just like you.
Commonwealth Look Just Like You.
Yes.
So what made you write this book?
Well, so actually I've been a CPA for 22 years. And I've always had people come to me and say, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you manage money? How do you attract money? How do you handle your resources? And so God gave me a God-inspired idea to actually write Commonwealth. And I'm super excited about it because it's a project that's following after my prayer journal, Prayers of the Righteous. And when people were purchasing the journal, I let them know that a financial journal was coming out. And they asked, why didn't I do that first? But people get finances mixed up because they try to take care of that first instead of taking care of their faith first.
So you say, no, it's an order to this. There's a method to the madness.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you got to get your mindset right.
Mind right. Yes, mindset.
You know, because thoughts become things.
Yes, they do.
Thoughts become things. So you have to get your mind right. And a lot of times we're trying to focus on the area where we need improvement, but we got to get our mind right first.
Yes.
So
yes.
Prayers of the Righteous.
Yes.
And I wish I would have brought that book today. That book is so amazing. It's over 100 prayers.
110.
110 prayers. But those prayers are so specific, guys. So specific. You don't have to read the book in sequence. You can read it out of order because it's a devotional. It's like this thick. It's a nice size book. I hate I didn't bring it, but it is so enriching. It's so needed. And it's so awesome. It definitely fills a void. Thank you for writing that book.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing it with your clients and your family and your friends. So I appreciate that.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
I was so impressed when you shared it with me. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. You have so much insight. You have so much wisdom.
Good.
And I'm so excited to see this new financial book.
Yes.
Because I know you are a beast when it comes to finance.
Well, you know what? God has gifted me.
I wish you would gave me that gift, Lord. Okay.
I actually love numbers. They tell a story. I like to empower people. I let people know that money is not a commodity. It's not in shortage, that there's a surplus of abundance in the earth and in the atmosphere. And I teach people how to tap into that.
So give me one way. I'm not to give all the goods away, but give me one way that we can share with the audience.
We already started talking about it. So a man thinketh, so he is. And so many times we speak death instead of life into our finances because we say things like that costs too much or I don't have it. And one thing I share with people, especially people that I'm coaching and I'm mentoring, I say, pick up the newspaper on Sunday and go to the real estate section and look at the 7-figure homes. That means there's money somewhere.
Somebody buying
There's an abundance. And it's not like one or two. I mean, it's 100, 200 homes that are into the 7 figures in the Houston area. I tell people to go and drive into that neighborhood that you want to live in. Go to River Oaks. Go to Royal Oaks. Go to Sweetwater. Go to those prominent communities that are in the area so you can feel yourself driving home and see yourself there. And you also have to write it down. If you don't write it down, it absolutely will not happen.
Was it write the vision, make it plain?
Make it plain, yes.
Make it
and
plain.
get pictures. I tell people a lot of times people don't accomplish their goals is because they're not written down. And you don't have a chance to think about it. Because what happens is when you write your goals and your visions down, you release it into the atmosphere and the universe. And you start putting things in motion. And then you start calling those things that are not as though they were.
I love it.
Yes. So I always tell myself I'm so happy and grateful that I make $500,000 a month. I have it on my note card. I keep it in my wallet. I see it. And so I'm just waiting on the manifestation.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to speak to things that exist, and I love it. And so with this book,
Yes.
when does your tour begin?
So actually, I misspoke at the beginning. I actually will start my tour on March 30th in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
And so I'll start there, and then I'll be in Houston on April 12th. I have
Okay.
about 6 more cities that we're still working out the details with my publicist. I actually work with the Thingzilla PR group out of Atlanta. And so they've been phenomenal in working with me and helping me build my brand and build my website. And it's just been an exciting journey. And just to piggyback on Sunday, Women, Wealth, and Wisdom, it was so exciting to be in a room of positive energy.
Oh, yeah, energy
Because
is
there's
great.
the energy
I always
is
say
that-
electrifying. Like,
Yes.
the energy in the room is electrifying. You know,
Yes,
it is.
absolutely.
It's contagious.
Absolutely. And it was wonderful to see other women edifying other women, because we've been brought up with a mindset that there's not enough, that there is a shortage. And I always tell people, women hate on other women when they get another car as if the universe is out of metal. There's plenty of metal. They'll hate on a woman for getting another house as if there's no more stucco, bricks, or wood. There's no shortage. The only thing there's a shortage of is land.
And that's funny that you say that, because it really boils down to, you shining doesn't dim my light.
It does not.
No. It doesn't.
No.
And actually, when your girlfriend gets a new car, gets a new house, it should make you excited, make you say, I can get it too.
Yes.
I can get it too. I love to say all the time, especially if you're my girlfriend, if you're my friend, my sister, or somebody in my inner circle, when it rains on you, it's going to sprinkle on me.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to get the backlash of it because I'm right there in your area, because it rarely rains like right here. It's always in the area. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm always like, why we mad?
Yes.
Why we mad that the rainbow is shining over her? Your pot of gold is coming soon.
Absolutely. Do you remember when we were young kids and you'd be playing outside and you'd hear the ding, ding, ding because the popsicle truck was in the neighborhood and you'd run and get excited? Well, that's what happened when God blesses our friends. That means if blessings are on them, they're in the neighborhood.
I love that. Come on, ice cream truck.
Yes,
that
the
analogy.
blessings are in the neighborhood.
Yes, the blessings are in the neighborhood. And not just one person can buy a popsicle. We all can get one.
Yes.
Yes, seriously.
Yes, absolutely.
So what did you really love most? I know you talked about the edification of women in the room. But which component of the actual Women, Wealth, and Wisdom luncheon was your favorite?
You know what? I'm a giver and a philanthropist. And so I really enjoy the women who were recognized for their 501c3 efforts, for their not-for-profit efforts and their causes. There is such a great need for us to give back into the community. And I believe that we're not meant to be reservoirs of selfishness, but channels of blessings.
Yeah.
And so when you give, the more the universe will give to you. And so just to see and hear about Miss McGrady and her husband and their foundation had given over $2 million, it was just so inspiring. That's one of the goals that I have on my vision board, is to give away $1 million by the time I'm 50.
Come on.
So I'm 44, so I have 6 more years to get to that place. And so it was so exciting to see it and live in color and read it and know that if they can do it, so can I.
And it's something about giving.
Yes.
Giving just feels good.
It does.
If you're a giver, giving feels so good.
Yes.
Giving feels better than receiving when you're a giver.
Yes, it does.
It really does. I know it sounds like, it can't be. Yes, it does. You get so excited. Even when we did like the giveaways to the person who traveled the furthest.
Yes.
Or the mom who had the most children in the room.
Yes.
Or the oldest person in the room.
Absolutely.
It's just fun knowing that, just to give. And not only that, we had our pearls there.
Yes.
And just giving back into them, sowing seeds into them. And not so many financial seeds with those girls, because they're not economically challenged. They really aren't.
Right.
They just, need more mentors and more outside influences.
Yes.
That's what those girls need.
And that's
so,
a powerful thing.
Spending time, because one thing about money is a great thing. We have a nonprofit.
Yes.
It's easy to cut a check, but it's a different thing to spend time with people.
Yes.
It's a totally
and
different,
nurture them.
And nurture that relationship and cultivate that relationship over a period of time.
Yes.
That takes time.
It does.
Like writing a check and not minimizing it, because we appreciate the checks that are written, but it takes a minute.
Yes.
Here you go. But when you are mentoring, people and teens and women in transitional facilities, that's a thing that really takes time. It takes true effort.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I enjoy the most, the mentorships. knowing that
Absolutely.
those relationships can really change the lives of people forever. I remember speaking with my brother and talking to him about, I know that, and I know even though this is Fearless Female podcast, but it's still a story of relationships.
Yes,
I know that
absolutely.
his father was in prison, but he is
Wow.
such a solid guy. He is such a solid guy. And so I said to him, where do you get these core values from being raised by so many fearless women? You're raised by a fearless grandma, mom, this and that, aunts. You're raised by all these women, right?
Yes.
How do you get such a great, value system and moral system and have so much integrity? He said his football coaches.
Wow.
His football coaches.
That's
He said his football coaches taught him discipline. But more than anything, girl, one of his football coaches taught him about money.
Wow.
So listen to this story I'm going to tell you about finances. So his football coach was about 30 years old. And so he was in high school. He was about 15. 15 in high school, he had a football coach who had an old raggedy Cadillac Eldorado. It was about 12 years old.
Okay.
And you're in high school, boys speaking on a coach, and they're like, Mr. whatever your name is, why are you riding in this raggedy Cadillac? Why you can't buy you a new one? You need a new one. You know what he told them? Let me show you something. The next day he came to school, he brought his bank statement. He said, I'm not buying a new Cadillac until I can buy one cash. Instead of paying a note on something, I'm going to pay a note to myself every month.
Wow.
So my brother said about 6 months later, he said he came to school with a brand new Cadillac Eldorado, peanut butter insides,
Wow.
paid for. And he said that taught him not to be wasteful. And
Yes.
to this day, my brother never have a recent car. Never.
I don't believe in buying new cars either.
Forget new. Recent meaning 8 years, 6 years old. You know what I mean? Because the lesson that his coach instilled in him.
Mm-hmm.
All that wasting money, being flashy, being this, being that. Save your money.
Yes.
And so he's a great money manager because that's a lesson his coach taught him.
Wow. It's
Not
so
nobody
powerful.
inside the family, but that's why relationships and mentorships are so valuable.
Wow. It's funny you mentioned that. I like to work with youth. And I did a campus tour, college tour back in 1999. And I wanted to show the youth a valuable lesson in giving. That Sunday morning, we were in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had devotion. And after devotion, I asked for the youth to give an offering. And I wrote down everything that everybody gave. And what I did was I gave them back what they had given plus 3 times more.
Ooh.
Everyone said, how did you do that? They wanted to go and do a do-over.
No, you can't.
Nobody gave more than $5, which I expected, and so I had planned for. But they thought, man, if I had given 20, I would have had $80. But that lesson that we taught them back in 99, 20 years ago, the youth and the young people that I run into now, they're 35, 36 years old, still remind me of that lesson I taught them on giving. Because you cannot beat giving when you give without a purpose or without an intention or without expecting to receive. Because you can't make a deal in your giving. Sometimes people give to receive.
Giving basically without expectations.
Yes, giving with expectations. Right. Or giving with ulterior motives.
I like that exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to steal that. I'm going to steal that and see where I can implement that. Look.
Yes,
use
with
that
the little
pearls.
babies, with the pearls.
Oh, yeah,
That'll be
I can't wait to
awesome.
see.
That'll be awesome.
Yes, I can't wait to see how that goes. I like that. But, it's just important. These relationships matter.
They do.
These relationships matter
do.
20 years from now. Different people that you meet, you never know how they're going to impact your life.
Yes.
You never know how they're going to really, have that influence over you.
Yes.
You don't even know it. There's so much power in influence.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of power in influence, and it can go both ways.
It
It
is.
can be negative or positive.
It is. And those are intangible assets that I talk about in the book Commonwealth. I actually share in Commonwealth that intangible assets are more valuable than tangible assets. So when you think about intangibles like your brand, your credit worthiness, your name, your relationships, how you were brought up, I asked the question, what do people think when they hear your name? What's the first thing that comes out? Can your name change somebody's disposition? Because the difference between pain and prosperity is just one person.
Come on, you better get deep on me, girl. Nicole.
Yes.
So the difference between pain and prosperity is one person.
One person.
Let's dig deeper.
Yeah. So like with the example of the coach and your brother, for me, the difference is Jesus. Christ made the difference because the Bible says in John 10:10 that I come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. And the Bible talks about money and wealth more than anything else. And people often miss that. But God desires for his people to be wealthy. But he wants wants to know and has to know, can he trust you with it?
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna be a good steward of his resources?
Yes, good steward.
It's all about stewardship.
It is.
It is. How can I trust you with a lot when you can't even manage a little?
Yes. What father or mother would give their child $100 if they lost 10?
Right.
It's the same way with the Heavenly Father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It makes so much sense. So, Nicole, what is next for you?
You know what is next for me? I'm actually going to continue with my book tour. I have more books to write. Mm-hmm. Things that are very, very exciting. One of the things that I want to do with the prayer journal and also Commonwealth is have it translated in 21 different languages.
Okay.
So that's when I know I will have reached my goal, is when that literature is in other countries.
Come
and
on,
it's
global. Come on, global.
Yes, worldwide.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I told my strategic business partner, that we cannot part ways until we get to this end goal. Mm-hmm. So we have to start with the end in mind. And a lot of times people can't get started because they don't have a vision. And one thing about vision is vision attracts resources.
So my question to you is, what is in you that makes you dream so big? Because sometimes we don't dream big enough, but I love it. You say, forget the book that's only been in English.
Yes, 21 different languages.
And not one book, but both books.
Yes.
A lot of times we shortchange ourselves.
Yes.
Why do you think that, we dream so small? We don't dream big enough.
I think it's because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. And one thing, we don't know how to transform our mindset. And I often tell people, you got to change your stinking thinking. And so we haven't been taught to dream and think bigger. And one thing that drives me is my faith. Everything God wrote to me in those love letters in the Bible, I believe every word of it. And I just believe that I can have it because I'm his child. Mm-hmm. My daughter doesn't wonder how she's going to eat or how she's going to travel. She just asks for whatever she wants. One of the things she asked me for is, can we go to Bora Bora? She's 14 years old. She's ready to go to Bora Bora. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to make sure that happens, but I want her to earn it, because I don't want her to just be given things, because children today believe in entitlement.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. That's one of my favorite topics.
Yes.
Entitlement.
Yes.
Because one thing about it is, I feel like our journey has made us stronger.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times these children, we have shortened their journey.
Yes.
It's not as long, it's not lengthy enough. They don't have a lot of curves and detours. Mm-hmm. They don't have to take the scenic route.
Yes.
Road tripping. Mm-hmm. They get to get on a flight and get there so fast.
Right.
It's almost like a microwave society. Yes. But we did a lot of slow cooking.
Yes.
We did a lot of slow cooking. Mm-hmm. And with my husband and I, and I'm just finally getting it together. I'm just coming to grips. And he's so right. For so long, I wanted to give the kids so much. Yes. I wanted to give them so much. Mm-hmm. And he told me, Keitha, wait a minute. Those things made you better.
Absolutely.
It took a long time for me to get it. Mm-hmm. He said, those things make you better. Because myself and him, we both were working at a young age. We started working around 14, 15. Mm-hmm. So he was like, that work ethic that was instilled in us today, the reason why we go up every day and we don't call in, even when we're not feeling 100%, is because we've been working.
Yes.
We got to teach these kids to work for something. Yes. We got to teach these kids to have value system and not give them everything, even if we can't afford it.
Right.
Even if we can't afford it, make them work towards it, whether it be chores, whether it be grades, whether it just be behavior, just being a good citizen.
I actually, with my daughter, when she was younger, I used the point system. So she was about 5 years old and she wanted an iPhone. I said, okay, Madison, that's great. You need 2,000 points. So I assigned a point value, and she could get points for good behavior, but she would get deducted points for bad behavior. Mm-hmm. The first weekend we did it, my daughter had a minus 1,200 points. She said, I hate this point system. I don't even want the iPad. I don't even want the iPhone. Or the iPod, I'm sorry. I don't even want it. But she remembers that lesson today. And one of the things I share when I'm doing financial coaching is, do not finance failure. And they asked, well, what does that mean? I said, if your son gets a 20 in English, a 30 in science, and a 40 in math, and you go and buy a $200 pair of tennis shoes, you're financing failure. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times we want to give to our children because we didn't have, but we miss, like you said, the journey and the value system that's created, because we don't want to have children who can't survive in today's society. Because you and I both know the world is not nice. Mm-mm. It's a cold, cold world out there. And nobody will love you like your parents. But that's why it's so important for us to instill values in them and teach them what they need to do. I remember when I was younger, I used to have to write proposals to my mother for everything I wanted. And I'm so grateful for that, because now when I go and write a business proposal,
It's nothing.
it's easy. It's like a piece of cake. It's like, I've been doing this since I was 12. You know, I want a new car. Why do you need a new car? My mother told me I got my first car at 25. Why do you need a car at 16? I had to write a proposal, tell her why, and come up with a 20% down payment.
Yeah, we need more. We need more lessons like that for our children, because we give. We all guilty of it.
Yes, absolutely.
We're all
Absolutely.
guilty of it. We're all guilty of it.
Absolutely. I already have my bags packed for Bora Bora. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, I'm not sure if we're going to go next year, but we're definitely going to go in 2021, because next year we're going to Tokyo for the Olympics.
Okay, come on,
Yes.
Olympics.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
2021 for sure, Bora Bora. But come on, Tokyo, who mad at that?
Yes.
Should be 15.
Yes.
Like, how many 15-year-olds been to Tokyo?
Yes. How many 45-year-olds have been to Tokyo?
Let's say that.
Yes.
Valid point.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
point taken. Point
Absolutely.
taken.
Absolutely. But one thing, before we move on, Keith, I want to share with the audience is to dare to be different and to dream bigger. Because a lot of times we measure ourselves, we think that we've arrived if we do better than our parents. But the sky is the limit. And just dream bigger and better things. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, we talk about getting a home, going from renting to buying a mortgage. Believe that the mortgage is paid off. Go from being an employee to being a business owner, being an employer. You know, just taking it a step further and really stretching your belief system, because life is full of BS, and that's belief systems.
All right, life is full of BS. We got to change it.
Yes.
Rephrasing it.
Yes.
Rephrasing it.
Yes.
Because only when you think of BS, you think of something different.
Negative.
Yes.
Absolutely negative.
But you're right. It is your belief systems. It's how you believe. Even like money.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think money is the root of all evil.
No,
No, but it's a belief system, though.
it is.
And so your approach to money is different. I have a cousin to this day because growing up, so many checks were reading hot checks
Oh,
to the
my
school and
goodness.
stuff.
Oh, my
like, you know,
goodness.
you see your kids at school back in the day, because people weren't using credit cards 20 years ago,
And
like
debit
talking
cards,
about
right,
it.
Right.
You know, you did a lot of checks. And because so many checks were returned, she does not use checks at all.
Oh.
Cash and carry for everything. But I'm saying that because that in her mind, checks are bad. You get what I'm saying? Checks are a bad thing. No. If I can't pay cash, I don't want it. Well, who really carry cash around these days? But it's those belief systems.
Yes.
Those things that are embedded in us from our childhood.
Yes.
And a lot of times we have to break those chains.
Yes.
Because
you
think
do.
about it, we don't talk about money in the house. You may have talked about money in your house, but a lot of households don't
No.
talk about balancing a checkbook. I know my mom didn't teach you about balancing a checkbook, but she did tell me one thing: don't mess up your credit.
Absolutely.
And that's what she told me.
Absolutely.
Now, we may never balance a checkbook ever. You know, we never talked about that in depth. But my mother told me your credit is like your GPA. Once
is.
it goes down, it's hard to go back up.
It is.
That's
And
what she told me. She said, don't get anything you can't pay for, and don't get more credit than you need.
Absolutely.
Just because, you know, because you
Absolutely.
start getting credit cards, you start getting credit cards everywhere. She's like, don't get stuff just because.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know that people with bad credit spend $250,000 more in interest during their lifetime than a person with good credit? And most people think I can't even accumulate
I believe
$250,000
it.
in my lifetime. But you're that way because you're giving it to creditors. And so oftentimes we get caught up in couponing that's become really popular. So Macy's will send you a coupon for 25% off. You'll go and get the 25% off and then pay 25% interest. That just doesn't make sense.
And you notice everywhere you go, the companies are making, like department stores are making so much money off the credit portion. You can't even check out without them asking you to get a credit card, because the money is made on the interest.
Yes,
They don't
absolutely.
even care about the merchandise as much. Don't get me wrong. That is revenue and that is profit. But they
But
know
the
on
interest
back end,
income.
what? You can be paid 2 to 3 times.
Wow.
2 to 3 times over a period of time, whatever this costs. And then a year from now, you don't like those shoes no more.
Or you don't wear them.
You don't like their dress anymore, but you're still paying on it.
Yes. Still
And
paying
so I'm
on
so
it.
funny because they laugh at me. It's 2 things that I just refuse to buy on a credit card, and that's gas and that's food.
Wow. You know what? Now I do that.
I can't.
But I do it because I have rewards
I don't
cards
want the
and I
points.
get points.
I don't want the
I
points.
get
And I
points.
get it. I understand the point system, but the point system, I had American Express, and I was a slave to American Express buying points. It made me a slave. I was having $8,000, $10,000 bills every month because I wanted points. But then when the bill came, I was hyperventilating.
Wow.
Behind points. That's
Wow.
for me.
Yes.
That's for me.
Absolutely.
Behind points, I was like, oh no, I'm not I'm not. I'm not going to do this behind a point system. But it does. We want the points. We want the reward. But I want to buy gas. I want to buy food on that because I don't want to be paying for something that I've already consumed.
Absolutely.
30 days from now when you send me the bill, that gas gone. That food is gone. I don't care if it's groceries or eating out. Those are just two little things. But I have my own little pet peeves that I'm not paying for nothing 30 days from now that I ain't even using anymore.
Yes.
So we just have our own little money matters and principles that, that you just
and
take
and they're really important. One of the principles that I share is I don't believe in budgeting. I say budgets are for big business and big companies. I tell individuals, give your money an assignment. And what that means is have a purpose for your money even before you get it, so you already know what you're going to do with it before it arrives. So think about it. The next time you come into a windfall, it's income tax season. People are getting income tax refunds.
Except me.
They need to make sure, right, me too. I always owe. They're getting refunds, but do you have that $5,000 emergency savings fund? Not the $1,000, because only 1 in 3 Americans have $1,000 saved up. Most Americans, 1 in 3. 1 in 3. They'll either have to use a credit card or borrow money from family and friends if they have $1,000 emergency. 1,000.
Okay.
And I encourage people to have 5,000.
So what's the ratio on that? I'm sure that's like 1 in 10.
I'm not sure what the statistics are. Probably 1 in 20.
Yeah.
That has $5,000.
I'm just shocked about the 1,000.
The $1,000.
And the reason why I say that is because now it seems like every time you have an emergency, it's $700, $800.
Yes,
I mean, a regular, like tires, or if something break at the house and need a repair, nothing is $200 and $300 anymore.
Right. Heaven forbid if an appliance goes out, like your air conditioning unit in the summertime. $7, $8, $10, $15,000 depending on where you live, the type of unit, and some houses have 2 units.
10,000.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And so
but
those
it's too hot
things
to go without it.
In Houston, absolutely.
And you talking about summer? I mean, it get hot around April, like for real. We use the air all year, really, but that's true. But wow, $1,000.
Yeah. So I teach people to give your money an assignment. So when it comes in, you already know where it's going and you don't have to think about it. Because what happens is people get windfalls and we go buy things that depreciate in value, like cars and furniture, instead of investing in art and jewelry and buying stocks or bonds or even investing in real estate. Yes. Things that will appreciate.
Yeah. Things that will appreciate instead of depreciate.
Yes, absolutely. Because when you buy that car at the dealership, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's depreciated 30 or 40%.
It's a wrap.
Absolutely.
So you talked about travel.
Yes.
Tell me 2 or 3 of your favorite vacation spots.
Hawaii.
Maui,
Hawaii is by far my favorite vacation spot. Paris. I love to shop in Paris. It's an amazing place to go shop. And actually the Mediterranean, the French Riviera, is amazing.
That's where
we toured there in 2012. A cup of coffee, $35 in the French Riviera.
Where did you go to French Riviera?
We went to Provolone, France, and Toulon, I believe it was. In the Mediterranean.
We went to the French Riviera for my 40th birthday this past September.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Amazing.
We went to Cannes, went to Nice,
we
Morocco,
did go to Nice.
Monaco, and one more place. I want to say Grasse, Grasse.
Monaco is where they have all of the yachts and the ships.
And it's like,
very
Monaco
exclusive.
is like 2 miles, small.
Exactly.
Like you can zip through there. Like
exactly.
you like, we went to Monaco already? Like
yes.
we're done? Okay. But yes, with all the yachts and all the fast cars and the Grand Prix.
Yes.
The Grand Prix.
Very
I definitely
prominent, influential area.
I'm so impressed by the French culture, though. Like, I love Paris. I love the French Riviera. But there are even French islands in the Caribbean. Martinique and St. Martin and Guadeloupe. And they are very impressive. It's something about the French culture that, like, I just really love. So those are definitely some of my favorite places to travel. I don't know where I'm going to go this year, though. Greece is on the radar. Greece
is
year,
amazing.
Greece is on the radar for this year for me. And next year, South Africa. Those are my, like, every year I want to have, like, one
big trip.
One big trip, a place I've never been before. So
make sure you go to Mykonos in Greece and Santorini.
Yes. Mykonos, Santorini, and Athens. Those are my 3 spots that I want to hit up in Greece.
Went there in 2008.
Come on. But y'all definitely on my vision board, it's always some kind of travel. It's always like, I want to do this, but okay, this is a trip I want to take. Last but not least, what is one of your favorite books?
My favorite books, I actually love John Maxwell,
Oh, me too.
the leadership guru. He has 3 books in one: Developing the Leaders Around You, Developing the Leader Within You, and Becoming a Person of Influence. I believe those are must reads for any entrepreneur, anyone who is in a leadership role. I believe one of the things that John talks about is the law of diminishing return. And what that means is that's when you surround yourself with people who look up to you, but you don't surround yourself with people who are better than you. So what happens is as your circle becomes bigger and bigger, it becomes less influential because people tend to like to recruit or network down instead of up. So if you're the smartest person in your circle, that means you need a bigger circle. If you're the wealthiest person in your circle, you need a bigger circle.
Right.
I remember when I met my first billionaire back in, I believe it was 2009. I was so excited. It was a female. She was from New York. Her name was Debbie. And just to sit down and have a conversation with her, her and her husband had a $500 million business that they were running with 5 people out of a brownstone in New York. Those little green bags that you get at Walmart that you put your fruit in, they had patented those bags back in 2006 and 7 and had gotten a big contract with Walmart and some other grocery stores, and $500 million is what she was making a year out of a brownstone.
Yeah, definitely. You always want to level up.
Level up,
People,
yes.
Some people who are beneath you, but definitely some people above you. Somewhere in the
Yes.
center is where you fall.
Yes.
Every day I listen to Minute with Maxwell. They send me
Oh,
an email
wow.
every day. It's
Absolutely.
always a word of the day. I love it. I click it first thing in the morning, Minute with Maxwell. It may be a word like foundation. Sometimes the word is Christmas. But he always give you some kind of leadership nugget that applies.
Absolutely.
John C. Maxwell is the best. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed being with you. I hope the listeners and the fellowship have gotten some nuggets. I definitely want you to go to my website, NicoleMichelle.com, and check out that new book, Commonwealth. You'll be blessed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm NaKeitha Ross. Goodbye. Bye.